I'm going to show you today the only 4 knives that you need in your kitchen. You can watch midnight TV and you can see knives that cut shoes, cut cans, do all kinds of stuff. In all my years as a chef, I've never had to cut a shoe, never had to cut a can. That was not the criteria by which I judge knives. Hey chef, is this a good knife? I don't know, let's get a can and a shoe and see. Right? So this isn't the criteria. And the knife kits with 24 steak knives in it, has anybody ever cooked steak for 24 people? All right, you don't need 24 steak knives in your butcher's block of knives. You need 4 basic knives. This is what they are. First, it's the chef's knife. This is the knife where 75–80% of your kitchen cutting preparation material begins. The chef's knife we know because it has a tapered blade, thinner at the tip, thicker at the heel. Chef's knife is used in a tip fulcrum method, which I'm about to show you. Chef's knife, number 1 knife you need in the kitchen. Second is a boning knife. Boning knife is used only on raw products. This is where you get the fat off chicken breast. This is where you clean the silver skin from the flank steak and things like that. Only on raw products. Don't ever cut meat and then cut your salad, because then you have cross-contamination. I take this even a step further. I don't ever let this touch anything but raw protein items. Keep it that way. Boning knife. Serrated slicing knife. This is for items that the chef's knife would crush. Chef's knife has a downward motion. Well, imagine a ripe tomato or some bread that we're going to make little pizza hors d'oeuvres tonight. If I come straight down on it with a chef's knife, tomato all over the place. But the teeth on the serrated slicing knife cuts through softer items. I'll show you how to use that. Lastly, paring knife. 3-inch knife or so, used for vegetables, generally fruit, close-up items. Paring knife is the only knife you use facing your face. 4 knives that you need in your kitchen. Paring knife, slicing knife, chef's knife, boning knife, the only 4 that you need. Okay, people always ask me what's a good knife. And generally they throw a brand name at me. Henkel's or Henkel's or Wusthof or Russell Dexter or Lost Mercer. Anyway, they throw, but you have to realize anybody that makes knives that puts a brand on it, they have a top-of-the-line knife and a bottom-of-the-line knife. The name of the knife doesn't really matter. Here's what matters is what type of metal it's made out of. And there are 3 types of metal that knives can be made out of. The first is called a carbon steel knife. A carbon steel knife, generally like this one. This is my cheap knife. This is Bessie. I bought this when I went into culinary school, and I still have it, and I still use it. It was the only knife I could afford then. I can afford any kind of knife I want now. I still use this knife because I like it so much. It's a very cheap carbon steel knife, $25 or so. And it's a musical instrument. Very flexible because carbon steel is a very soft metal. If it's a soft metal, that means it's very easy to sharpen. And I'm going to show you how to sharpen your knife in a minute. If it's a soft metal, that means it loses its edge very quickly. But it's cheap, easy to sharpen, loses its edge. Carbon steel can pit. Carbon steel can rust. If you work with a lot of acidic products, a lot of fruit and stuff like that, you'll see little pitting in your knife. It's corrosive material. Cheap knife, carbon steel knife. The next type of knife is a stainless steel knife. And these are the ones that most people have. Stainless steel is very rigid. Stainless steel is very hard. So stainless steel is very hard to sharpen. But once you get it sharpened, because it's a hard metal, it retains its edge very well. It won't rust, it won't pit, it won't corrode. Stainless steel knife. Now, only in the last decade or so has the knife world created high carbon stainless steel. These are the knives that are $100, $150, $200 or so. High carbon stainless steel. And if you look at your knife, very often there's a stamp on it that'll tell you what it is. It'll say carbon steel or stainless. Or if it has 2 numbers, 1810, something like that, it's a stainless steel knife. If it says high carbon stainless steel, you have a very, very good knife because it is the best combination of all. Won't rust, won't pit, won't corrode, is flexible enough, easy to sharpen, but doesn't lose its edge very quickly. So look for those that ask me what's a good knife, a high carbon stainless steel knife.